City of Lawrence Police Merit Board Commission will come to order at 6 p.m. Garten, pledge allegiance, please. Flag, the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Termination of a quorum. We do have a quorum. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep, there's right here.
Comment to the commission. Mr. Crouch. Mr. Hendrickson.
Yes, sir.
Any comments?
No, sir.
Ms. Garten.
None for me.
None from myself, so we'll move on. The chair would see a motion for approval of the minutes from the regular meeting on June 10th, 2019. You have a copy in front of you. Anybody have any corrections or additions to it?
None, I'll approve them.
We have a motion. We have a second. All in favor of approval, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? They are approved. The agenda calls for no unfinished business, so we'll move on to new business. First on the agenda will be the approval to extend a conditional offer to next applicants to fill vacancy within the department. Captain.
Hello. So we're moving on to the next person on the list. In order for them to progress to do psych and medical, we have to give a conditional offer. So we're requesting to do that, but kind of twofold. So if this person does not pass med or psych, we would like to do a second conditional to the next person.
Okay. Do you want to reword how that is done to us then?
Just the ability to offer a conditional offer to the next applicants.
As it proceeds down the list. Okay.
Please.
So as we set right now, there is a request for approval to extend a conditional offer to the next applicant that fulfills the qualifications that is within the list at this time. Do I hear a motion for that?
All motion.
I have a second.
I'll second it.
I have a first and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? It is approved. Good luck, ma'am.
Thank you.
Second on the agenda is approval to hire the next applicant passing all the requirements established by the Indiana Public Retirement System, aka PERF. Basically just a continuation of your first one then.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
We'll have a vacancy soon, now, officially. So we'll need to fill that vacancy.
All right. So at this point, I'd hear a motion to approval for the next hiring for the next applicant passing all requirements established by PERF. So I hear a motion.
I'll approve.
Have a motion. Have a second. Have a first and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Ayes have it. Now that will also go as you were quoting on your first one, that the first one accepts but doesn't pass PERF, you'll then go on to the next one. So
That's right.
We'll just keep
But
going.
if the first one does pass, then
He's it. He or she is it.
That's
Yes.
right.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
thank you.
And next will be promotion of Sergeant Ruth and Sergeant Romerl to the position of Lieutenant. As was explained to me, we covered this a few meetings ago and made the approvals, and now it's ceremonial at this point. Chief?
Yes, sir. Actually, I'd kind of like to deviate from the agenda if we could have the retirement recognition for
Absolutely.
Lieutenant John Nelson moved up before the promotions.
All right, sir. We'll go ahead and we'll hold on C and
Go to D.
we'll go to D.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Great. Thank you. Lieutenant Nelson, sir, would you join me at the podium? Thank you very much. Lieutenant John Nelson is standing beside me. He began his career in law enforcement when he joined the Marion County Sheriff's Department in 1995. He then joined the Lawrence Police Department in 1996 and graduated from the 125th session of the Indiana Law Enforcement Academy in Plainfield. During his career at LPD, Lieutenant Nelson served as a patrol officer, a detective, a sergeant, a lieutenant, a shift commander, and a captain in the investigations division. He's also among a very select few law enforcement leaders nationwide as a 2003 graduate of the FBI National Academy in Quantico, Virginia. Lieutenant Nelson is well known at the department for having a quick and clever sense of humor, always good for bringing levity to situations when needed the most. He was very involved, a hands-on supervisor, taking his responsibilities very seriously. He led by example and would never ask an officer to do something that he wasn't capable of doing himself. He was a very good police officer as well. I remember one night in 2016, after I became chief here, when I quietly joined a late shift officer for a ride-along for a few hours. I met the officer at a gas station, and I left my police car parked there. Within 30 minutes, Lieutenant Nelson, while on routine patrol, spotted my unattended vehicle and sent a message to the officer I was riding with about the suspicious situation. This showed me early on that Lieutenant Nelson was an active supervisor, always on the lookout for anything out of the ordinary. As a member of the investigations division, Lieutenant Nelson was known for his tenacity in working mostly white-collar crime cases, including complex theft, fraud, and forgery-related investigations. One incident of particular note came in the early 2000s during a very tense hostage situation on Bent Oak Court, where an estranged husband located his spouse, who had separated from him, broke in the residence where she was at, and held her and their child in common hostage at gunpoint while on the phone with the LPD Communications Center. 911 Center Supervisor Linda Brandel was attempting to negotiate with the armed and angry husband. She convinced the husband to allow their child to leave the residence, where then Detective Nelson had responded and was on the perimeter of the residence. Nelson observed the child wandering in the garage of the residence, broke from his cover, rescued the child, shielding the child with his body, and then he escorted the child to safety. This incident is clearly indicative of Lieutenant Nelson's character and a full career of putting others before himself. That's what I call servant leadership, and he certainly epitomizes that concept. The influence he has had on the past, the current, and the future of the Lawrence Police Department is permanent. We wish Lieutenant Nelson well in his continued public service as a criminal investigator with the Marion County Sheriff's Office, where today was his first day. And the next chapter of his life and career will unfold. As a very small token of our gratefulness, it is now my pleasure to present a certificate of appreciation to Lieutenant John Nelson with an attitude of esteem and respect on behalf of the Lawrence Police Merit Commission and the citizens of Lawrence for a job well done. Fast in the glory. So for those in attendance, this certificate simply says, in recognition of 23 years of faithful and continuous service and effort to protect and improve the quality of life for all citizens of the city of Lawrence, this certificate of appreciation is hereby bestowed upon Lieutenant John Nelson with respect and gratitude for a job well done. Best wishes for a happy and healthy retirement. You will be missed.
Thanks so much.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Lieutenant.
And now if I could have Lieutenant Thomas Roos stand beside me. Lieutenant Roos's promotion to lieutenant is the latest achievement in his lifelong service to the citizens of Lawrence, which started in 1987. This is when Lieutenant Roos joined the LPD Explorer Post number 160 as an Explorer Scout, where he served until 1992, when he continued volunteering with LPD as a reserve officer. Through the mid-90s, Lieutenant Roos also served as a special deputy on the Marion County Sheriff's Department until joining LPD as a full-time officer in 1998, graduating from the 135th session of the Indiana Law Enforcement Academy. During his tenure here at LPD, he has served as a patrol officer, as a sergeant, and as the department's first full-time training coordinator, a position he held for the better part of 5 years. Lieutenant Roos was also one of the founding members of the LPD Chiefs Honor Guard. He has served on LPD's Special Weapons and Tactics Team, and this next one's a mouthful, the Marion County Homeland Security District 5 Interagency Emergency Response Team, and as an Emergency Vehicle Operations Course instructor, instructing not only here at LPD, but also regularly asked to guest instruct at the Indiana Law Enforcement Academy. Upon his promotion to lieutenant, Lieutenant Roos will continue his career of service here at LPD as the middle shift commander, and I am very pleased to make this promotion of Lieutenant Tom Roos, and I wish you well, sir. I think that's your wall. That's your wallet badge. I'm sorry. I gave you the wrong one. All right. Oh, is it? Okay. I feel like a room full of people watching.
You just simply go upside down.
Here you go. All right. Don't go far. You can have a seat. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Lieutenant Ryan Romerl. What I'm about to say is very important, especially to me, because I'm also in this category. Lieutenant Romerl represents the fourth generation of his family's continual service to the citizens of Marion County. He started his career in 1999 as a civilian with Marion County Sheriff's Department, joining MCSD as a deputy in 2002, where he achieved the rank of lieutenant, until later joining the Lawrence Police Department as a full-time officer in 2008. He is a graduate of the 173rd session of the Indiana Law Enforcement Academy. During his tenure at LPD, Lieutenant Romerl has served as a patrol officer, a detective, and a sergeant. He is a certified instructor as well, and has taught dozens of officers the finer points of non-lethal munitions and taser deployment techniques. Lieutenant Romerl has served as a member of the LPD's Special Weapons and Tactics Team and was elevated to the position of SWAT Team Commander just this year. He has served as one of our department's field training officers, which is a tremendously important position in any law enforcement agency. He's also served as a canine handler. Lieutenant Romerl is currently overseeing both the FTO program and the canine teams. Upon his promotion to lieutenant, Lieutenant Romerl will oversee training along with several special service areas, including a special operations field project, the field training officer program, canine teams, and SWAT. And he will be instrumental in attracting quality training programming and instructors to the new police station when we move in. So it is with, again, pleasure and pride that I present to you Lieutenant Ryan Romerl. Congratulations.
Go ahead. Being embarrassing his roots way up here trying to do his own.
Congratulations.
Hey, thanks.
And now, as we conclude our ceremonial activities this evening, I'd also like for the two new lieutenants to come up and join me at the podium. And Lieutenant Nelson, in a spirit of passing the torch and directing and being part of the future of this department, would like to make a presentation to the two new lieutenants.
Thank you for your time. One of the areas that I've seen grow substantially in my time on this department is the development and the processes utilized to deem candidates as capable for promotion. I've had the pleasure and the benefit of having both of these lieutenants work with me and for me while I was in command. Short time with Tom, but I've known Tom quite some time as well. I'm not sure if I've impacted the both of you the way you've impacted me, but I would be very proud if at some time you would consider playing a pair of my old lieutenant's bars on you. Best of luck. God bless. Chief, thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I see a lot of kids in the room. Does anybody like cake?
Do we want to swear in?
Very good, because we've got a lot of it.
Chief, would you like them sworn in, since we have the clerk right here?
Yes, if you would, please, Kathy. I'm sorry, I almost forgot a very important part of it. Come on up, guys.
Yeah, the pay increase.
That way, everything we do is nice and legal, which is important in our profession.
Sorry, Kathy. Oh, you're fine.
Already attracting new applicants?
And as lieutenants on the Lawrence Police Department, it's truly an honor. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I say your name.
I, Thomas Chambers,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the State of Indiana
of the State of Indiana
and of the United States,
and of the United States,
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and honestly
and honestly
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of a lieutenant
of a lieutenant
for the City of Lawrence Police Department
for the City of Lawrence Police Department
in the manner provided by law
in the manner provided by law
and according to my best knowledge
and according to my best knowledge
and judgment,
and judgment,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Now, once we adjourn, we can get to the cake. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Now we're down to citizen comments. We have a whole lot of people here today. Any citizen comments? None being. Reminder that the next stated meeting will be August 12th, 2019. With that, the chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
First and a second.
I'll second.
We're adjourned. Thank you.